Hey guys, Andrew here from Connecto. I hope you are all doing great. I've just finished off a handful of meetings this morning and just about to head out into a couple more this afternoon. And I just thought I'll quickly shoot this video just because the same question cropped up in all of the meetings. And the question was, how much does it cost to develop an app and why do the costs vary so much? And it's a great question, and a lot of the time my clients think that their app's going to cost them tens of thousands of dollars, and that tends to be the perceived expectation by a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs, and 90% of the time it can actually be a barrier for them to actually get started, for them to actually ask the question and start thinking about really developing an app and taking it seriously. So yeah, in this video, just going to break down some of the costing to give you an idea on why apps cost so much and sometimes cost so much, and then why other times they can actually be really affordable, and what is the actual sort of technology driving that. So basically, probably about 5, 6, 7 years ago, we got the idea that apps were super expensive, and by super expensive I mean you didn't even get on the board if you weren't putting like 80 grand down. I remember when I got quoted an app for a project way before I got into this space, and I think it was a super entry level app, really basic, and it came back at about 90k. And that basically meant that I needed 30 grand to get on the board to get the first section of the app up and running, and that was pretty much an app which had no features. So it was like designs, putting together these things which they call wireframes, and giving me like a couple of consultation sessions, and that was 30k. And as you can imagine, I didn't go down that road. And then from there, what we've basically seen is we've seen the introduction of a few different types of technologies, and that basically means that apps can become a little bit more affordable. So with that, basically the old school way was to develop an app in a native format. And to break that down, what that means is that your developer would go away with all your ideas and develop the app for the specific devices. So first of all, what they'll do is they'll develop for an iOS device. So they'll create a custom app for that, and that will take a heap of time. And then they'll go away again and create an app for your Android device, and they'll go away, develop that, test that, send it back to you, do some more tests, design that. So there you've got two apps, and then they would go away and possibly create one for an iPad or a tablet device. So then you've got two other projects. And then they'll go away and create it for maybe a web device or a web format. So then you've got another way. So now, as you can see, because they're developing it natively, they have to create a new app or a new piece of software for every single device that your clients are going to potentially be using. So that meant that very, very quickly, your pricing and your quotes would shoot right up. And the reason is because obviously they would develop it on different platforms. They would actually create designs for all of these different platforms, and obviously have to do consultation and particularly testing for all these different platforms as well. So by the end of it, you might have, say, 4 different apps, one for Android, one for iOS, one for an iPad, and then one for like an Android tablet. And that's basically 4 different apps that run off 4 different systems, and then eventually using a thing called APIs and a database, they'll be able to tie it all together and give you like an online admin system or something like that, which means you don't have to edit all 4 different things at different times. So it sounds super complex, right? And that's why it is pretty complex, and that's why it was so expensive. So that was the native approach. And in all honesty, if you see a really, really high class app which is making multiple millions and millions of dollars, chances are they've got a native app. And like I said, the reason is because they're probably making millions of dollars. But what a new technology has brought in is the option to create something which we call hybrid apps. And to keep this super simple, it basically means that you're able to design and develop one app, and it works across all of the platforms. So as you can imagine, what that means is it brings down the development time a huge amount, it brings down the costs a huge amount, but because technology's improved so much, it actually means that 90% of the time, the features, the designs, the feel of the app doesn't actually, it doesn't feel too dissimilar to what a native app would feel like. Granted, when hybrid apps first came out, they were pretty clunky. They didn't really have the feature or the capabilities of a hybrid app. But technology is moving so fast that nowadays hybrid apps are performing on a very similar level to native apps. And basically, like I said, with a hybrid app, you can create one app, works across all your platforms. You have a simple online admin system or something like that, where you can manage your app, and it works like that. So it basically means that you can decrease the pricing for the app, you can decrease the time frame it takes to build the app, and it makes it really, really simple. Particularly when it comes to testing, you can test it on one device, and you know that's pretty much what you're going to get across all devices. So it makes it really easy. And to give you an idea, some of our hybrid apps we can get up and running for less than $2.5K. So it means that for those people who've previously been quoted things like 80 grand or 100 grand for their idea, they can get on the board much quicker and in much more affordable. So I hope you enjoyed that chat. If you want to have a chat about any of your ideas or want to know a little bit more, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to explain it more, but that should give you a little bit of an insight on I guess a quick insight on how apps work, how app development and why app development varies so much, and just give you an idea on why app development costs have changed. And yeah, you can hopefully that's helpful for you. And like I said, feel free to flick me a message or get in touch if you've got any questions or anything you want to discuss.